Or something like, you know what I mean? Let's see, what do I want to watch actually? Look, I want to watch this shit.
1-800-GOLF-TIP. Back in the early 90s, a mysterious phone number started popping up on billboards and newspaper ads across North America. It was a vanity number that spelled out 1-800-GOLF-TIP. Seeing this, most people assumed that it was an innocent golf tips helpline or something of the sort. However, that couldn't have been further from the truth. When someone did call the number, they were greeted by the sound of a person breathing into his microphone. This was then quickly followed by the same person counting off numbers 1 through 10 in an Indian or Middle Eastern accent over and over again.
Bro, low-key, not gonna lie, that is the scariest shit to get, bro. Imagine, right? Imagine. You could get called by anybody in the world, some creepy dude outside your house or some crazy shit, right? But imagine an Indian calling you, just saying random numbers, not even like asking to scam you. He just saying random numbers. I'll be thinking it's like my social security or like some crazy shit, and I'm going.
This sequence kept repeating for minutes on end, leaving many people confused and prompting them to hang up. However, this counting didn't last forever. People discovered that after about 10 to 12 minutes, the voice faded into silence and was replaced by static noise.
What if he just practiced in English? They're 100% gonna get your social? No, the fuck they not, alright?
But that wasn't all, because the ones who kept on listening were eventually startled by a loud and unsettling siren sound.
What the fuck? Ew. Bro, what? Look. Let's be realistic, alright? What the fuck would you genuinely do in this situation? Because, first off, I don't even be answering the phone. So, who the fuck is actually answering these phone calls? And then second, as soon as I hear any type of Indian voice, I'm hanging up, bro. I don't know any of them. Hell no. That just low-key will kill my whole day.
Extremely creepy, it also left the listener with many unanswered questions, like what was the purpose of this strange
I would go into that shit?
And why would anyone pay money to advertise this number in the first place?
Fucking Indian?
Over the next few years, the 1-800-GOLF-TIP number became a modern folktale of sorts. People heard about it through word of mouth, dialed in out of curiosity, and were all met with the same eerie voice. This phenomenon was widespread enough to become one of the earliest internet as I found mentions of the number dating as far back as 2003. However, the complete lack of information gave rise to a flood of theories attempting to explain the mystery.
Man, they had just graduated college that year.
1-800-GOLF-TIP had something to do with number stations, which, for those who don't know, are shortwave radio broadcasts of unknown origin. These usually transmit sequences of spoken numbers, tones, or coded messages, often in eerie, mechanical voices.
Bro, yeah, bro. When I was in Black Ops, bro. When I was in Black Ops, a part of the Navy SEALs and shit, bro. That's how we used to like transmit like secret codes and shit. Know what I mean? That's but I can't tell y'all what they mean because it's classified.
Many believe they're used by governments to send encrypted instructions to spies in the field. So, according to this theory, the 1-800-GOLF-TIP number served a similar purpose. Another theory that many came up with was that this number was a part of a marketing campaign, probably to gather working phone numbers for telemarketing later or as a social experiment to generate hype for an upcoming product. However, none of these theories hold up to scrutiny. For starters, if number stations are indeed used to transmit instructions to spies, their entire purpose is to deliver messages anonymously, leaving no trace of who received them. A purpose that's negated completely if the receiver had to call a phone number that could potentially be traced back to them. On the other hand, the marketing and number collection theories don't hold much weight either. There are far more effective ways to achieve both goals without depending on an unlikely chance of the number spreading through word of mouth and attracting calls from curious people. Ultimately, despite many attempts at uncovering the truth, 1-800-GOLF-TIP remained a mystery for nearly 3 decades. That is, until a Reddit user took it upon himself to get to the bottom of it.
Always fucking Reddit.
He spent over 4 years combing through the available leads and gathering personal anecdotes from people who remembered calling this number in their childhood.
Damn.
And as it turns out, the 1-800-GOLF-TIP rabbit hole wasn't a viral hoax or a disturbing conspiracy. Instead, it was the result of a simple mistake. You see, back in 1994, the Professional Golfers Association, or PGA, was touring across North America.
No
And in an
fucking
effort
way.
to promote the sport, they set up billboards and purchased ad space in newspapers, listing their golf tip line 1-800-GOLF-TIP. However, this line was only meant to be active for 2 days, as evident from this 1994 ad in the Tampa Tribune, which reads, "Golfers nationwide can receive golf tips today and Sunday via a toll-free instruction hotline presented by the PGA of America and USA Today. The hotline, featuring nearly 100 PGA members, is being offered in conjunction for the Tommy Armour PGA Teaching and Coaching Summit in New Orleans. Call 800-GOLF-TIP." Following the campaign, billboards in low-traffic areas that never
Bro,
received
that's
the
all
new
it
ad ended up
was?
staying up far longer than intended. However, by then, the tip line was replaced by a placeholder test message from the phone company. As for the disturbing siren sound at the end, it was just one of the many pre-recorded tones phone companies used to signal that the call hadn't reached its intended destination. In the end, 1-800-GOLF-TIP wasn't a covert spy line or a clever marketing ploy. It was simply the byproduct of a phone company forgetting to disconnect a test number. And while the truth isn't as thrilling as some might have hoped, it brought closure to those who spent nearly 30 years chasing the mystery.
Bro, who the fuck would actually spend 30 years chasing that shit for real, bro? That's actually so
User
ass.
927. On August 4th, 2006, AOL, which was an early search engine like Google, released a text file on its website containing 20 million search queries from its users. These queries were collected from over 650,000 users and spanned a period of about 3 months. Whether this release was intentional or simply a private file mistakenly made public remains unclear. The users' actual names were replaced with anonymous filler numbers starting at 1, so like user 34 or user 152, but based solely on each user's searches, you could usually still find out a lot about them. The company did apologize and remove the file 3 days later, but it was already too late. Thousands of people had already copied the file and began combing through it out of curiosity. And while most of the searches were exactly what you'd expect, like users looking for restaurant recommendations, planning vacations, or searching for medical symptoms, user 927's search history stood out from the rest for just how shockingly disturbing it was. It started off quite normal, with user 927 looking up songs from various artists. There were also some medical queries, such as the time it takes for a broken leg to heal and fungal infections, as well as numerous searches on different types of flowers. But it didn't take long for user 927 searches to shift into the realm of deeply inappropriate and not safe for work. Now, due to the explicit nature of these searches, I can't share them on YouTube, but just note that many of them were deeply unsettling and painted a troubling picture of the user behind them. However, this was only the beginning. As the weeks went on...
Bro, they just found him fucking goning, bro. They found his fucking gone history. Low-key though, imagine your shit gets leaked and thousands of people see what the fuck you've been looking at and what you've been searching. Not gonna lie, I feel like I'd look disturbing
User
too.
927 searches grew darker, more specific, and far more disturbing.
That don't make it hotter,
It
idiot.
went from looking up
I'd be dead the next day.
stuff to
What
searching
the
for
fuck?
straight up illegal and harmful material. The unsettling nature
What the
of user
fuck?
927 search history
That you have a heart
sparked
attack while
widespread
gooning?
discussion and
That shit
concern
low-key
across the
be
internet,
ass.
even inspiring an off-Broadway play which delved into themes of cyberstalking, privacy, and the implications of our digital footprints. Despite their infamy, however, user 927 was never identified. All we know is that they were likely from Colorado based on a single search from the state's official government website. It's also likely that these searches were made on a shared family computer, since they often flip-flopped between wholesome searches and illegal not safe for work searches.
Bro, what the fuck are illegal searches? There's shit that you could search up that's illegal? Bro, can you go to jail for that shit?
The identity of user 927 remains a mystery to this day.
I'm not really cooked. I'm not a freaky gooner like y'all.
Google
See, that's why you still BBG, dude.
Near the end of
911 gonna walk in your shit in
a
your
few
hand.
users on 4chan noticed a bizarre phenomenon with
Ew.
Google Translate,
Bro, why the fuck would I have shit in my hand?
where typing in
Bro,
incoherent
what the fuck
and
do you be
broken
doing in the
strings of
bathroom?
characters led to eerily normal-sounding responses. For instance, typing the letter O and P repeatedly resulted in Google Translate telling the user to click on the image to view more. Similarly, using P and S instead produced something that resembled a snippet from an email. Now, it would have been easy to write it off as a coincidence, just random characters accidentally forming something familiar, but as more people tested it, the more weirdly consistent the outputs became. Like the Translate app telling the user to go ahead and ask any questions they might have. Or in some instances, telling them that they have a chronic disease, a tendency to be infected with the virus, and that they will have a lot of pain. How could a nonsensical mix of characters produce such specific and sometimes threatening translations? At this point, the most reasonable explanation was that this was simply a glitch, perhaps an obscure bug in Google's Translate system. After all, most of these eerie translations occurred specifically when converting between Somali and English, suggesting a potential flaw in how the algorithm handled that language pair. But what made this seem unlikely was the amount of unique information Google Translate was showing in response to these requests, including things like a link to a Facebook post or what appeared to be an email address.
I know your search
in a
history
similar
is scary.
vein, a few specific
Bro, my search history is actually not scary, bro. Like, I think the last thing I searched up was probably...
also provided results that read like a private conversation between two people, stating things like, "You will be given the opportunity to be re-elected," and "This is a great way for you to come to our country."
This is sus.
So,
Ew,
what is going
bro,
on
what
here?
the fuck?
Unfortunately, despite the online interest,
So
Google
Big
never
25?
acknowledged the problem, so
off.
we can only speculate. And while I did come across some wild theories
Yes,
suggesting
that's
that
my
Google
people.
Translate
Ooh.
was somehow a
Wait,
sentient
come here.
AI trying to communicate outside of its intended purpose, these theories are of course not true. One possible theory is that this was the work of a rogue
You took
Google
forever to answer?
employee, someone who, out of frustration or
And
boredom,
Wu is
decided
probably like, how to goon to a bowling ball while drunk at a PCP buying place. Huh? Bro. And there was some shit that I did not... I gotta go to the Discord, bro. And I gotta go through my clips, because I don't even remember
to
the
tamper
fuck
with the
happened.
system. Maybe they were trying to degrade the app's quality out of spite, or perhaps they simply wanted to leave behind
they're
a
locking
hidden
on that shit,
Easter
not
egg
gonna
for
lie.
others to discover. However, someone risking their lucrative career at Google for something this uneventful and niche is fairly hard to justify. From everything I've seen, the most plausible explanation is still the one mentioned earlier, that all of this was just a glitch or an overlooked bug in the system.
The fuck is
As for the
THS?
oddly specific bits of information, those could have come from any number of internal sources. Consider this: massive platforms like Gmail, Google Drive, and Search process billions of data points every day. So it's not hard to imagine a coding error causing Google Translate to inadvertently pull fragments from those interconnected services, which, if true, would be a real security and privacy threat. That said, I tried replicating the troubling prompts myself and came up empty. Whatever was causing the bizarre outputs seems to have been quietly patched out by Google since the story first broke out.
Damn.
Ted the Caver. On March 23, 2001,
Who got an
a man
STD,
named
someone
Ted began
said?
sharing his caving experience in
I
the
guess
online
somebody said that
The
shit?
story started a
Fuck
few
wrong
months
with you?
earlier in December 30th, 2000, when Ted and his friend B were exploring a cave they thought they knew well. But on this particular trip, they found something unexpected: a small hole on a wall near the cave's lowest point. As Ted kneeled
Yo, I cannot be the first person to see that shit and think glory, I'm not gonna lie.
down to get a closer
But
look
imagine-
inside,
like,
he felt
imagine
a
though,
faint
right?
breeze coming from the hole, suggesting there might be an entire unexplored cave
Breeze
system
too?
lying just beyond the narrow opening.
Hold on.
The excitement of being
From
the first
sun
people
to-
to explore
from
this
sun
new
next-
section
bro,
of
hell
the
no.
cave
What you mean,
outweighed
hell
the
no?
inherent danger
Like
of
chronically
venturing
in a
into the
lot
unknown.
from smoking weed.
After
Bro, what the
surveying
fuck?
area, Ted and
LMAO?
B decided to widen the hole and carve out a passable corridor. About a month later, on the 27th of January, they began to chisel at the rock. But something felt strange. The two felt a suspiciously strong wind coming from the hole, followed by low, ominous rumbling from deep within the cave. They tried to rationalize these occurrences, thinking that the wind was just blowing a little stronger outside, and that the rumbling noise was coming from the trucks driving on the mountain road above the cave. So, despite the noise growing louder and more frequent, they pressed on. A decision they'd come to regret, as the sense of unease kept getting worse, fueled by a series of increasingly disturbing occurrences, like their dog becoming agitated as soon as it reached the cave and refused to go anywhere near the hole, or the two hearing
the
what
dog
Ted
doing there?
described as the most terrible scream he has ever heard from the hole, lasting nearly 10 seconds. Once the hole was big enough, Ted crawled through to the other
So
side.
what we got, son?
only
Why you
to be
like
met
this? What
by
you mean?
a massive, unnaturally round boulder sitting in
When
the
should
center
we
of a
pack our
small
bags?
chamber. There were also
Bro, we're not going nowhere. Who the fuck is we? And also, I think that shit killed it. No gonna lie. I think that shit over.
Hieroglyph-like drawings on the walls depicting people.
What you mean we're not going nowhere?
Strange symbol.
We not going nowhere. None of us.
Disposable Polaroid camera.
Maybe me, but definitely not y'all.
When he tried to develop those pictures later,
why the fuck you telling about Max? Fuck wrong with you?
Rock and its surroundings came out completely blank. They then tried recruiting another experienced caver, Joe, hoping a fresh perspective might help. However, Joe returned minutes after he went in, visibly shaken by the experience. He refused to speak about what he saw on the other side and just stated that he would never enter that hole again. Left with no other choice, Ted decided to explore the new area himself. But as soon as he reached the other side, he began hearing the rock scraping sound again.
Bro, this is deadass how I be like diving in this fun shit.
Only to see the round rock in a different position than it originally was. As he crawled through the hole, a nauseating stench began to fill the cave. Then, just as he and B reached the entrance, something tugged on their rope. In a panic, B slashed it with his knife, sending whatever was climbing up crashing back. I said that you guys see
these from one of his
photos. Yet, their story doesn't end there. In his May 19, 2001 update,
yes, bro, there's another Max. Bro, okay, so there's Max number 3, right? Maxka, he's Max number 3 because he hasn't reached like Max number 2 status, right? And then we got Anti number 5 because he definitely nowhere near Anti number 2 or 3. So, I mean, we're trying to be funny like we not going. Hey, just let me know when I should pick. You never pick in though.
Plans to go back.
I'm number 1, right?
To solve the
nah, bro, you number 2. Not gonna lie, Max.
Of the
There's no other Max, but you. I feel like you still number 2.
However, the
I am number 1 D.
Readers to wonder
Ill part timer. What you mean?
Now, I should mention that back then, many online communities were skeptical about the authenticity of this story and internet rabbit hole. However, the irregular updates and accompanying photos were convincing enough to make many believe the story was real. But the story was completely fake. Back then, internet creepypastas or fake horror stories...
They can. Bro, this is what y'all gotta understand, bro. If somebody come out like in some place and talking about like, oh my god, I'm too scared to like talk about what I seen. Man, fuck you. Bro, that shit, I never fucking believe no shit like that, bro. Because why the fuck is he gonna come out that hole talking about he too scared to talk about what he's seen, and the other one just like blatantly told a lie?
Is presented as true weren't really
why watch this when you could watch Silk?
Very common. Many people had
what
no
the
reason
fuck?
not to believe this story.
I guess
nowadays the Ted the Caver story is often referred to as the internet's first creepypasta. In 2004, he joined a discussion about his story on a forum site and admitted he made it up. Apparently, they did explore the cave and actually took the pictures he posted on his journal. But everything about the round boulder, the drawings on the wall, and the chase at the end was completely fictional. However, none of this detracted from its position as the story that introduced the internet to creepypastas, a genre that's prevalent to this day. The Glitter Conspiracy. On the 21st of December 2000...
Tony, bro, all you gonna need is a fucking ice pack, bro, because I'm gonna give you a smooth elbow to the chin. Yes, legally change your name. Ooh, what is this video about? It's just scary shit that be happening, like scary stories for Tony. He's being funny, acting like we not going. Bro, I actually fuck with that emote. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna steal it, bro. I'm gonna steal it, alright? Whoever, hold on. Whose emote is this? I'm actually stealing this shit. Bro, tell Joe I'm stealing this shit. No one is paying attention. We don't know. What the fuck? Bro, then why didn't y'all tell me to like? Why didn't nobody tell me that shit? Why didn't nobody tell me, yo, turn this shit off? Nobody watching this. Man, fuck yo.
2018, New York Times posted an article titled, "What is Glitter?" This was supposed to be nothing more than an educational article on what glitter is and where it's used in our day-to-day lives. However, what its author didn't realize at the time was that this would ignite one of the most heavily debated rabbit holes in internet history. It started with an odd conversation between the article's writer and a manager from GlitterX, which is one of the largest glitter manufacturers in the US. When I asked Miss Dyer if she could tell me which industry served as GlitterX's biggest market, her answer was instant. No, I absolutely know I can't. I was taken aback. But you know what it is? Oh god, yes, she said and laughed. You would never guess it. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay. Right? Who do you guys think used the most glitter, right? Out of everybody in the world, right? Artists, you know what I mean? Schools. Let's see. Pride people. Okay, but like it's a market though, you know what I mean? It's gotta be like It's gotta be like an actual, like, you know what I mean? Like somebody like job or some shit. You know what I mean? Is Wu Walk hosting a Diddy party or something? Huh? Diddy. Teachers. Okay, but I'm going it right now, question mark. A government? Okay, hold on. Okay. People that use the most glitter, bro. I think it's low-key gonna be like some scammer shit, bro. You know what I mean? Like if I was gonna use glitter, right? I would never use glitter for anything else other than like making like something look fake and shiny, bro. That's the only reason I would use glitter. Because other than that, bro, glitter is literally like, that shit is just like, what is it even powder? But I just know it's like just actual shit. It gets stuck on everything. You can never get it out for like weeks and weeks and weeks. And then like one day it just disappears. I don't know where it goes. You know what I mean? You use glitter for makeup sometimes, Noble? I don't use that, but like you do use makeup. Glitter for makeup. Nah, but it's like something that they said that nobody would know though. No, you. Bro, I never even put on makeup before in my life. People that make those glitter bombs, I guess that's gonna be the fucking biggest market in the world. If we staying out there for a few months, I only need like 7 euros, right? 7? Bro. I think that's too much, not gonna lie. Like 1. Actually, why do you need drawers at all? No, gay boy? Alright. No, and like 3 is good. Sigh. My fault.
I asked if she could tell me why she couldn't tell me. Because they don't want you to know that it's glitter. If I looked at it, I wouldn't know it was glitter? No, not really. Would I be able to see the glitter? Oh, you'd be able to see something, but yeah, I can. The writer then asked if she could tell the buyer's name off record, but she
What the fuck?
Not long after the article went live, someone posted their strange conversation on the Unresolved Mysteries subreddit, sparking a wave of speculation about who this mysterious client could be. One of the top comments under this post pointed towards a potential use by law enforcement as an ID for explosives, reading, Micro-Taggins, multi-layered...
Hold on! Who the fuck said glitter bombs? You locked in, bro. Who the fuck actually said glitter bombs? You locked in. Hold on. What'd I say? Alright, Willa. Never mind, you were wrong, bro. I'm gonna let the video play and prove you wrong, not gonna lie. That shit just pissed me off. What's good, Ram? How you doing? Yo, Ram, are you ready for the Vegas trip? Bro, you not going. You not going, jit. Why the fuck you guys talking about that shit? When the fuck did I ever bring up Vegas? I joined Ram's stream, he called me the N-word. Yeah, I've been on that shit, not gonna lie.
Micro glitter added to all commercial explosives. Simple to match trace on site after the detonation.
Yeah, Ram be saying that shit all the time, bro. He be calling me that shit. He be calling anti that
purposes and leave evidence as clear as a fingerprint. Law enforcement probably don't want this fact circulating.
The hard R?
And while this made some logical sense, others lean toward crazier conspiracy-adjacent theories. Like this one user claimed that the government spreads glitter on beaches to increase their sparkle and by extension attract more tourists. A few people also suggested that the mystery buyer could be the US military, since glitter's reflective properties might make it useful for camouflaging equipment by deflecting radar signals.
We'll be asking to put sunscreen on his back. That's all I ask, bro. I tell funny shit to pretty much like put it on the bottom of her feet and then like rub it on my back and shit, and then rub it on my dick like so I won't get my dick sunburned. My fault. I told no, Jit, you asked me and answered rub it on you. No, Tony, I did not ask you about back the fuck up. Stop lying about your fantasy. I guess I'm fantasizing.
Given how common microplastics are in personal care products.
Will shank
However,
you
none of these theories hold much merit.
Bed will shank you with hella shit. What?
Including toothpaste.
What did I do?
2017, over a year before the New York Times interview.
After they see
the military contract theory is also completely detached from the truth. In reality, the radar-absorbing coating used for fighter jets is made from iron and ferrite, not shiny plastics. So, while these theories were fascinating to sift through, none of them actually answered the one question that started it all. Who was buying all the glitter? This remained a mystery for almost an entire year before someone managed to uncover the truth. On the 8th of November 2019, the Endless Thread podcast dropped an episode titled The Great Glitter Mystery, and this had the answer people were looking for. Apparently, the answer was boat manufacturers. This might sound odd at first, but it actually makes a lot of sense when you consider the shimmering, reflective paint used on many new...
Oh my fucking god. Bro! This whole fucking time was for some shitty ass boats? Bro, I thought it was gonna be something interesting, bro. Like, they were fucking like coding people in it and they were being invisible and then touching people in their sleep or some crazy shit. I mean, or like they were using it for like spies that would reflect the light and then like they made the suits like reflect the light and then like they couldn't see them and shit. Like, I thought it was gonna be something cool, bro. And they talking about some fucking boats.
Or boats.
That shit killed it.
As for why GlitterX might be so secretive about the identity of their biggest client, one plausible reason could be environmental concerns. Glitter, especially the traditional kind made from microplastics, has been heavily criticized for its contribution to pollution, particularly in oceans where it can be harmful to marine life. So if it came out that companies were using it in boat paint and releasing untold amounts of microplastics into the ocean, it could spark public backlash or calls for regulation. In the end, the truth behind the glitter conspiracy was a lot more mundane than secret military contracts or explosive detection.
Exactly, bro. I thought that shit was gonna be cool.
Online.
Oh, that nigga killed it, actually.
Polybius.
What the fuck is this shit?
Polybius is the name of a rumored arcade game that had a limited release in 1981. And
I feel like I heard about this shit, not gonna lie. I don't know why I feel like I heard about this shit. Damn. 1981 though?
Since been lost to time.
Probably
As the
just
story
graduated
goes,
high school.
A single cabinet of the game was installed in a random arcade in Portland, Oregon in 1981. The cabinet was...
Can we actually do something productive, dude? Like plan out our trip. You not going. Yeah, plan out our trip. You not going, bro. What the fuck you mean? Nah, for real, our trip. What you mean our, bro? LMFL, no. Who the fuck is we? 1981, holy shit. That's when Amanda got her first job. Holy stray of doom. No BBGs in our trip, Lil Wayne. No, I'm good. No BBGs on the trip. Ew, man.
Playing without any fancy graphics on the sides. And the gameplay
Shit,
was described as
I love
weird
hating on
and
people.
puzzle-like
Oh, wow.
with action elements.
Yo!
This gameplay is also rumored to be surprisingly addictive. There are reports of teens spending hours playing this game, to the point of getting dizzy and even fainting. However, there were also several claims suggesting that the dizziness and fainting were actually side effects of government-led mind control experiments conducted through the game. You see, according to the myth, men dressed in black suits would regularly visit the arcade. Not to play Polybius, but to collect data from the machine, like on behalf of the CIA or some other three-letter agency. The cabinet also reportedly remained in arcades for only a brief period before mysteriously disappearing without a trace. This mix of addictive gameplay, side effects like amnesia and nightmares, combined with the alleged Men in Black sightings, cemented Polybius in urban legend history. But here's the thing, there's no concrete proof the game ever actually existed. No official records, no contemporary newspaper articles, nothing verifiable from 1981 mentions it. The only, quote, real evidence of its existence is this screenshot of the title screen, which looks a bit too advanced for its era, and this grainy black and white picture of an allegedly real Polybius cabinet. The high noise, overblown exposure, and overall low resolution makes it near impossible to extract any details.
So this game
However,
existed
given the
now.
overall shape of the cabinet, this was likely a repurposed Namco cabinet with its stickers removed. And even if these images are real, there are no sources dating back to the 1980s that could verify their authenticity. In fact, from what I was able to find, one of the earliest mentions of Polybius in any gaming magazine or website was in the year 2000 on a website called coinop.org. The legend did become widespread enough to inspire enthusiasts into building their own real-life Polybius arcade cabinets. However, I wasn't able to find a single piece of evidence matching its original description. So, where did the story come from? It's likely a fascinating case of collective memory blending fact and fiction. As a comment on Reddit noted, Polybius wasn't real, but it was inspired by stories of surreal 80s vector games, people playing arcade games for too long and getting sick, and teens doing shady things that resulted in authorities coming into arcades. Think of it this way, the early 80s saw visually intense vector graphic games like Tempest, which could be quite disorienting, especially in a dimly lit, smoke-filled arcade. Arcades were also rowdy places where teenagers pushed boundaries, sometimes prompting authorities to monitor them for reasons like truancy or gambling. It's plausible that these separate, real occurrences, getting eye strain from a vector game, feeling ill after a marathon session, seeing officials in an arcade, morphed and merged over time into the singular, terrifying narrative of Polybius. Or it's also possible
Bro,
that
so
Polybius
everybody
myth
just
was the
retarded
masterwork
pretty
of a
much.
single
Like everybody just
imaginative
like, I guess it's,
individual.
bro, what's wrong with people from the 80s? Genuinely. Aren't they like 80 years old now? Or am I off on that one? I might
Someone
be
who
off on that
managed
one
to
by a few
craft one of
years.
the most talked about rabbit holes in the history of internet gaming folklore. The Box of Crazy. On November 4th, 2013, Reddit user TramStopDan posted an Imgur album on the What's in This Thing subreddit titled Large Box Full of Odd Illustrations of an Event, aka The Box of Crazy, found by the trash bins. On the surface, this looks like
Something
nothing
like
more than
that.
an antique wooden briefcase. However, its contents told a completely different story. Inside, there were hundreds of documents containing text records of alleged UFO sightings, diagrams and schematics for complex
Yo!
otherworldly machinery, and hand-drawn illustrations of disturbing demonic creatures. The box also contained a lot of handwritten notes from the creator of all these illustrations, Daniel Christensen, as well as several maps and globe projections. Much of it was cryptic and difficult to decipher. However, even after reviewing just a small portion, it became clear that this was the work of someone who was deeply unwell. Some of his notes hinted at the possibility of him being a World War II veteran, which could explain the origin of his mental illness. However, that wasn't what started his fascination with aliens and extraterrestrial life forms. Some of the earliest documents in the box were from 1937, with some of the newest ones dating to 1977. In other words, Daniel remained fixated on this topic for over 4
Holy
decades.
fucking,
However, his
holy
earlier
Uncle
work was a lot
Doom.
tamer and more legible than whatever he came up with in his later years, hinting at his deteriorating mental health. As for the actual contents
Damn,
of
he was
this
low-key
box,
tapped in with the
however,
art and
one
shit, though.
particular topic stood out above the rest: his account of the incident that happened on July 7th, 1977. According to Daniel, Tampa Bay was hit by a tornado on that day, but that tornado was just to disguise alien ships used to make contact with Earth without getting spotted. He created several detailed illustrations of what he saw that day, and it's bizarre to say the least.
Yo.
In reality, there were no records of a tornado
Bro,
or any
okay, like not even that, bro. Not even that. All right, look. I don't want no CIA and shit coming into my house and shit, cause I keep that switch on me. But like, also, nobody talk about that that alien shit that happened at that Florida mall and shit. Nobody talk about that shit no more. Not gonna lie. I can't hear you from inside the club, bro. You in my fucking club. But like, am I right or am I wrong, bro? Nobody talk about that Florida alien shit no more. With the aliens in the mall and shit, and everybody like, you know what I mean? Everybody fucking I don't know, it blew up on TikTok for a while and it just disappeared. I was there when the alien shit happened. Why you lying? Bro, nobody talk about that shit. Been noticing shit, bro. More kids going missing, more chicken sandwiches and shit. I've been noticing that shit. Nobody talk about this shit no more though.
any other extreme weather event happening in Tampa Bay on the 7th of July. That
Yeah, I'm
said,
lying. I knew.
Daniel didn't
I
choose
knew
this
it.
day at random. You see, a lot of Daniel's illustrations
Yo, man, are you the alien?
the
What the
same building as the center point for alien descent. This was the inverted pyramid on the same
Ew,
pyramid
that
in
alien
Tampa.
emoji looks so ugly.
Coincidentally, this building was also lit up with a massive laser light show installation on July 7th, 1977. So it's highly likely that Daniel witnessed this laser show, misinterpreted it as an alien encounter, and then spiraled into an obsession to document what he genuinely believed was a life-changing event. And the craziest part is, this was only a fraction of the work he'd produced in his lifetime. This is because, as the story gained traction online, a Reddit user named That's My Box came forward, claiming that she was the previous owner of the wooden box TramStopDan found. And apparently she was telling the truth. She moved into a new home in the 90s where she found a room full of Daniel's work. This included a chair-like machine he'd constructed, which, according to his notes, was the device he'd used for an out-of-body experience and time travel. Unfortunately, most of Daniel's stuff had to be thrown out, which is how TramStopDan found the box. It really makes you wonder what other mind-bending contraptions, bizarre concepts, or odd events he might have noted down on paper during his lifetime.
Damn, bro.
Eritas. On November 5th, 2015, an anonymous user posted a thread on 4chan talking about a strange conversation they had with a girl at work. The girl he talked with was, at the time, homeless and in a band. She also worked for a really shady company that was in the process of closing down. One day, her supervisors gave her and another employee 2 tape guns and instructed them to pack boxes. However, the tape in one of these guns had the word Aerotas written on it. When she inquired about this word, her coworker told her to get rid of the tape gun and to not mention the word to any of the supervisors. Apparently, he used to work in IT, and one of his jobs was to flag employees who searched this term so they could be fired. The OP was curious about what Aerotas meant. However, this was also the first time other 4chan users had encountered the word, so they couldn't offer much help in figuring out what it meant either. But then a month later, on December 19th, another anonymous user brought up Aerotas again, hinting that it was some HR-related computer program. But this time, the OP received an answer, which defined Aerotas as a program that allows some specific third-party company unconditional access to employee information. This reply also mentioned major brands like UPS, Unilever, and Ecolab. About one more month later, on January 25th,
what the fuck are these pictures on the left?
Talked about wanting to make music from obscure YouTube videos. They also included a list of video links they were interested in. The second of these links led to a video titled "YouTube is monitoring and controlling my life" that was posted just 2 days before the 4chan post. The owner of the channel that posted this video, Chronos for Life Jurassic Park, believed that he was being targeted by Aerotas. This, along with a now-deleted Q&A video Chronos posted later, gave people a clearer picture of Aerotas' true nature. Aerotas, as many came to understand it, was a mass surveillance and censorship software allegedly used by powerful entities to securely monitor the public.
Bro, hold on. I low-key did find a method, though. You know what I mean? Oh, bro, I low-key did find a method, right? So if you got somebody's location, you go on a map, right? And there's maps of like different security cams around the whole US and shit, right? You go on that website and you tap into like every single one, and that's how you watch them. That shit's tapped in. Yes, I've done it before. Yes, I will continue to do it, not gonna lie. Bro, look at this shit. What is that, bro? What the fuck have you guys been saying? Ew, balloons pop in and they thought it was an active shooter. Always alien by the way you look. Oh God, he trying to aura farm? You need a PFP? You kinda lame. Bro, my PFP tapped in, alright? Y'all don't know where that shit from. That shit too tapped in, alright? I agree with him, Moo. What you mean you agree with him? He acting like he didn't read that. Read what? The OP? Okay. We making it big? I didn't know. What? Always trying to have it. What the fuck are you guys talking about? Embarrassed yourself in front of 5 people on the internet? Huh? Bro, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Is it insane? Hold on.
What made Aerotas so terrifyingly effective
was
its
website,
ability to
Lowe's?
erase
I'm not
its
telling you,
existence.
Jude.
It would detect any time someone mentioned it across the internet and remove that reference without a trace. Chronos even posted a video titled "Here Goes Nothing"
Alright, man, hold
as
on, bro. Let
bait
me
for
finish this video.
Aerotas, hoping the advanced algorithm would target and delete the video, thereby proving it was real. But that wasn't all. Turning on captions revealed that the video also had hidden messages at several points throughout its runtime. Decoding these messages led to a fake address that was listed on the profile of a band called KFC Murder Chicks. This band featured homeless girls, and surprisingly, one of them reportedly worked in a warehouse, just like the mysterious girl who told the first 4chan user about Aerotas. Looking further into this band revealed
KFC Murder Chicks. All a band of homeless women. Low-key, they're bad. Fuck it, Preach. Yes, I can change her. Yes, I can save her. This guy Woo zoned out from chat. What you mean? Then he lost his sense of reading. Bro, because I was actually tapped in on the video and shit. Oh, got it? Why are we all wet right now? Huh? Overreacting.
the YouTube upload of one of their songs, which had the word Aerotas in its description as well. The channel that uploaded this video, Todd Ellsworth, also had a relatively empty Twitter account with the word. The only noteworthy post on this account was this elongated portrait of a man. By this point, many people who were following the mystery
who the fuck is that?
KFC Chicks band had something to
That's
do with
a tough profile
Many
picture
people who
though.
were following on was this
Oh, why does it look like that though? It look uncanny.
creepy, elongated portrait of a man. By this point, many people who were following the mystery assumed that Todd and the
Who on me that looks like
something
you?
to do with Aerotas.
Bro, fuck up, bye.
Or at least
Killing
they
it.
knew something about this advanced algorithm that no one else did. But when asked about it, they denied having any knowledge about the term. Unfortunately, that's where the lead stopped. Users had so much information and connection points between various groups
On
and people,
Max.
but it led to nowhere.
Bro, O and M don't mean on me no more, it means on Max. Hold on. There might have to be a new one. There might have to be a new one. Oh, Max. There might have to be a new one, bro. And make sure y'all spam that shit. Like, y'all spam that shit once he hits the chat. Alright? Just start putting random shit on his life.
Just another unsolved
On
mystery
Max
of the internet.
Dotas.
That is until August
Wow.
2020, when a YouTuber called Toxicologist managed to get an interview with a person named DJ Roswell. As it turned out, Roswell was behind
Good.
everything from the very beginning. He was the leader of the KFC Murder Chicks band and wanted to promote his band with an ARG. So he was the one who created the lore surrounding Eritas and every puzzle piece connecting to it. As for
Bro.
this unsettling image, this turned out to just be a police sketch of a horrible criminal from Hawaii that had nothing to do with the band or the ARG. Roswell just used this picture because it was attention grabbing. Unfortunately for Roswell, people weren't able to progress through the storyline fast enough, and many lost interest over time, giving a tragically mundane ending to the mystery of Eritas.
Bro, that's all it was? Bro, this is the type of shit that be pissing me the fuck off, bro. Like, so far, all of these have been fucking lame-ass endings. Like, it's a good-ass build-up, and then, like, the ending is shit. You telling me like, all it was just some fucking loser trying to promote his shitty-ass band? Bro, these are just aura farms. That is. Bro, that's exactly what it is, bro. They just aura farming. And then at the end, they just splurge all over your face and be like, yo, like, you know what I mean? It wasn't even anything for real.
Alan Tutorial. In June 2011, a YouTube channel called Alan Tutorial uploaded its first video called How to Leak on a Piece of Paper. This 1 minute and 15-second video didn't make any logical sense and was just a jumbled mess of random actions.
You rip off a piece of paper, and you're gonna put the paper on the floor.
Oh,
Next
yeah.
thing you do is you gotta take the fork,
Why you sound like you?
and you're gonna have to ram a hole inside.
The channel began producing videos of
How much you wanna
obscure
bet you kinda retarded?
tutorials, like teaching users how to make a windmill from household items, or how to fill a tiny bin with dirt. However, as time went on, users began to notice the mental health of the creator, Alan, begin to deteriorate. He went from
Oh,
gleefully explaining
damn.
some illogical concept to crying during tutorials and getting accidentally hurt while trying to make the video. This marked a
Oh my
shifting point in
God.
the channel where it went from silly to often downright disturbing. And no video encapsulates this better than the one titled Disc Tutorial. It shows the host, Alan, getting kidnapped in a truck and slipping over his own blood, all while trying to make his usual tutorial. Even in captivity, Alan continued creating content with whatever he had access to, at one point even resorting to reading the news on camera just to stay connected with his audience. All of this, of course, turned out to be nothing more than a fictional storyline created by an art student, Alan Resnick. And while many of his longtime viewers understood this, newer viewers stumbling across his uploads out of context often couldn't make sense of what they were watching, with a concerned comment under the Disc Tutorial video reading, "Either this guy is a brilliant actor / art student, or something weird is happening and none of us suspect anything because we all think he's a brilliant actor / art student."
I know, but like low key though, what can be the truth though? You know what I mean? Like other than him actually being such a good fucking actor and actually locking in on this shit and like actually making everybody believe that shit, what else could be the real thing? Unless he actually really does have somebody like, you know what I mean, not really well in the head. He's forcing them to make the videos, right? And he has them in captivity, and he really did do weird shit to them and like hurt them and shit. That'll be the only one. That'll be the only reason. Gosh freaking darn, dude, I was hoping he actually got kidnapped.
Starting to have my
Low key, me too, not gonna lie.
All of
That would've
this
been
came to an end
That
in
would've been
December
interesting.
of 2014 when Alan posted his final video simply titled Tutorial, a nearly
It's like stroking you, but when you bought a bus, then woo stops. Why the fuck did my name have to be like brought up in that shit at all?
2-minute upload in which Alan finds a way to bust
Bro, I
through a
didn't
wall
need to
and
be
escape
in that
his
fucking
captor,
sentence,
never to
bro.
be seen again. Ever since this
Like,
conclusion,
bro.
fans have gone back and analyzed each video to find the hidden meaning and bits of lore. According to the most popular interpretation,
Woo don't even get me hard no more. Bro, do y'all respect me?
The character Alan Resnick
What the
created
fuck?
suffers from autism
What?
and
Bro,
is living with his
what?
older brother and his girlfriend who didn't like him. This explains why he ends up homeless at one point, as his uncaring family kicks him out. Some users have also speculated that the
Random.
reason he's crying in the blue chair tutorial video is because it reminds him of the way he found his mother after her death. This theory is supported by the video's description, which reads, "If your chair is on the floor, here's how you get it back and pick up all the pieces of something broken and unfair." However, creator Alan Resnick has never confirmed or denied any of these theories, choosing to leave his years-long art project open for interpretation instead.
Damn, he might low-key be a genius. Not gonna lie.
This House Has People
No dick
in
suck,
It.
no dick suck.
This House Has People in It is an analog horror short film that was aired on Adult Swim back in March 2016. The short is often known for just how weird and disturbing its concept is. It was directed by Alan Resnick, the creator and actor of the Alan Tutorial channel we just discussed. Though, unlike Alan Tutorial, which started off a bit lighthearted and slowly descended into absolute madness, This House Has People in It wastes no time pulling viewers into its surreal, unsettling world. It starts with the footage of someone logging into a computer and choosing a specific video to play. The footage then cuts to the CCTV feed from a house with 9 cameras, and then cuts again to the main couple, Tom and Ann, arguing about where to go for vacation.
No, it's not that expensive. Orlando's expensive. All the hotels and all the...
And immediately something is extremely wrong with the situation as we see a person lying on the
What
kitchen
the fuck?
floor while the couple ignores them completely.
Low-key though, not gonna lie, bro. I'm gonna be 100% honest, bro. Okay, one time I did goon, and I got so tired and lightheaded, because it was a crazy-ass session, that I was dead-ass laying right there. I was laying right there on the floor. Exactly like that.
As we see a person lying on the kitchen floor while the couple ignores them completely. From there, we also see a repairman working in the basement and the son Jackson watching TV in the living room that is decorated for his birthday. We also learn that the person lying on the kitchen floor is Tom and Ann's teenage daughter, Madison. She had a fight
What
with
the fuck?
Ann
I thought it was a
2 years ago
grown-ass
and has
man.
been lying there in anger ever since. After a few minutes, Tom tries to pick Madison up, only to make a disturbing discovery.
Yeah. Would hi? You saying hi like a bad bitch, not gonna lie. Fuck you mean on Max. Bro, O&M means on Max now, bro. We all spamming O&M every day, bro. We putting it on Max's life, bro, every day. Bro, Max a bitch. What the fuck? Fuck is the trending chat now. All sweet and shit, bro. No, on Max, bro. On Max. Don't put that shit on me. Bro, stop fucking timing dick. Timing me for what? Bro, stop timing dick. Random man straight. On Max, not a... On Max? On Max, Max not a bitch. What the fuck? Fuck you mean? I deleted the message. On Max. On Max. On Max, we all get money. Okay, he's surviving that one. Because of me, though. OMT, he a bitch. What? Who a bitch? Fuck y'all. Oh shit, RP Max. What you mean RP? I'ma just goon? Alright.
It is time.
What? Prime links. That is disgusting.
Ooh. He tapped in for that.
Madison appears
Hold
to be
on.
Prime links.
He's in his own show. He tapped in for that. That's how I do too. You know what I mean?
Madison appears to be completely stuck
On Max, we'll hate ABGs. On Max, torta you bitch. I kill it. Or, wait, why is he bending like that? He trying to pick up his daughter from the ground.
The situation then goes from bad to horrific as Madison starts sinking through the kitchen floor. The repairman tries to help by putting a plank on Madison's face to stop her from sinking through. However,
What
that
the
does not
fuck?
work,
How can I actually
resulting
do
in
that?
Tom having a complete meltdown in the basement.
I'm ready for it. Are you? I'm ready for anything. Beautiful. You've always been so beautiful.
You need to stop
I worship
right now!
you. I praise you. I serve you.
Left with no other option, they make a final-ditch effort to save their daughter by placing a mattress underneath her. We eventually see Madison fall onto the mattress, which then immediately cuts to a shot of the mattress without her, implying that she fell through the basement floor as well. The short ends
Oh
with the
my
guests who gathered
God.
for Jackson's birthday lying down in the yard just like Madison, while Tom and Ann are freaking out inside.
Alright, bro. I low-key might have to stop gooning after this.
The
not
short
gonna lie.
seems to carry a major theme of neglect that's prevalent throughout. For instance, we see Madison lie on the kitchen floor for 2 hours before Tom and Ann talk directly to her. Jackson is completely neglected by his parents. The baby doesn't have food in her bowl, and when Tom hands the baby to Grandma, she immediately sets it down, which ultimately results in her crawling out of the house. As a comment on
Oh
YouTube
my
puts it,
God.
I think the title, "This House Has People in It," is referring to this is a house, not a home. We are just people who live together, not a family. However, this was just the tip of the iceberg. You see, this short was released with a now defunct website called absurveillancesolutions.com. Visiting this site unlocked a fully functional ARG, which in turn unlocked hours of additional footage, dozens of images, and even chat logs between the family. Viewers also uncovered additional plot points hidden within the extended media, including one about a mysterious disease slowly spreading throughout the world of the film. It's so extensive that even 9 years after its release, fans still aren't sure if they've uncovered everything hidden within it.
Damn. Okay, Loki. Maybe that director dude was a genius and a good ass actor the whole time. I mean, now I'm starting to see the vision, Loki. Now I'm starting to understand. He kind of tapped in, not gonna lie. Chills, bro, chills. Yeah, you killed it.